Hi guys, welcome to the Oasis Healing Temple. Thank you for joining me today. So for the reading that I wanted to do this afternoon, we're going to take a look at messages from these three guides. They're master healers, and each one is delivering a message. So choose the pile or piles that you are drawn to. Follow your intuition on which card is speaking to you the most. Don't try to force anything. If you need more time, just pause the video. The timestamps will be listed in the description box below. I will read these to you now. We have pile number 1 with the Mayan master Imix, with receptivity, and that is with the goldstone star. For pile number 2, we have Mayan master Akbal with sanctuary, and that is with amethyst. For pile number 3, we actually had 2 cards come out. We have ascended master Lady Nada with devotion, and that is with the golden healer. Alright, so these are the pile choices for today's reading. And I'll see you all at your readings. Welcome to your reading, pile number 1. So, when I was doing the introduction, I had this goldstone star initially above the card here. And as I was doing the piles selection here, getting your cards for your reading, I was asked to get a different crystal. It wanted one that wasn't synthetic. When I always connect my cards to my crystals, and when I was trying to charge your reading up, it did not want the goldstone, so it actually wanted the red, which is pretty wild that we have such a red card coming out for you in your reading. So what the card says is Mayan master Imix with receptivity. Rest in the fertile dark womb of the primal mother. You are nurtured and supported. And what I feel like is that there is a little bit of anger that you may be holding on to, something from your past that you still have a hard time letting go of. And right now I feel like this master Mayan Imix wants you to go back to your roots and to heal. But there's something in the womb, something not in the womb, but in the soil, because the soil is symbolic of the womb, of the mother's womb, where we feel safe, where we feel nurtured, where we feel like we can rest. And I feel like there's something from the past that you may be holding on to, and you're and it has to do with I feel like maybe it's anger that has come to the point of rage, because we have this erupting volcano, and I feel like it's something that needs to be released, something you need to let go of so that you can move forward. And being paired with the red Jasper. Jasper is a great stone for the root chakra. It helps you to ground, to nurture, to feel safe. It's also good for our life force energy, our blood. So it's very good at purifying the bloodstream. Yeah, and we have rest in the fertile dark womb of the mother. You are nurtured and supported. I feel like you're being asked to create sacred space within that makes you feel safe. So there may be some old thoughts, old programmings, old feelings, old perceptions, the past parts of you that have made you feel unsafe, to the point where you don't feel rooted, you don't feel secure, you don't feel stable. Maybe you don't feel comfortable in your own body. You don't feel safe in the environment that you're in. Maybe you're always in a state of fear, of lack or loss, that you're going to lose something, and that you have to constantly be pushing yourself and working really, really hard to show your worth, to show your value, or to create that stability for yourself. And I feel like there's something in your soil, in the soil, in your roots of the past that need to be weeded out. They need to be let go of it. They need to be acknowledged and felt and released. And I feel like it's definitely anger. And anger comes from having our boundaries crossed. You know, when somebody is disrespectful, or they're not allowing you equal space, not allowing you the right to be yourself, you know, judgment, criticism, all those things that are disrespectful, that create anger, because the anger is there to show us that we need to set a boundary of protection around ourselves. This individual is not coming from a place of love and comfort and support. They're actually coming from a place of attack, and when we feel attacked, we feel like we need to defend ourselves, right? But when we're children, if this is our parents who are speaking to us like this, or making us feel this way, children, we don't have a lot of control. We're not allowed to speak back or stand up for ourselves in any kind of way, because then sometimes that meant something worse was going to take place. So as an adult, though, now is your opportunity to stand up for yourself, to allow yourself to feel and express the emotions that you were having at the moment that you were experiencing that feeling of not feeling good enough, or not feeling valued, or that your voice mattered, or that your feelings matter. And maybe you weren't allowed to express your anger or your discomfort or sadness, or whatever it is, because sometimes that anger can also come from repressed sadness, things that make us feel sad inside, things that we experienced and that we went through, or that we've seen and felt, and maybe we weren't allowed to express sadness, and so that because we couldn't express our sadness, then it developed into rage and anger. So there's definitely something that needs to be let go of, and I feel like you need to go within to a place of stillness, of meditation, spending time out in nature, connecting to yourself, and tending to, your needs, your emotions, your soil, things that need to be let go of so that you can move forward. Let's see what the receptivity is here. We have patience. Slow down and take care of yourself, and know you will arrive in perfect divine timing. Okay, so I feel like this is you. Maybe there's a manifestation that you've been trying to manifest for yourself, and you haven't quite seen the results of the work. And so it might be creating a little bit of anger or resentment, or, feeling like somehow, or feeling like it doesn't even work, or that you don't matter. And I feel like what you're being told to do is to go within and see what belief systems you have that may be blocking you, that may also be slowing down this manifestation. Because if you have a belief system that says, I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable, that belief system is what's keeping your manifestation from coming in, from you receiving your blessings, receiving the shifts, the changes, and the growth, because there's a limiting belief system somewhere that originated from your youth, from your childhood. And in this slowing down, so you may find yourself jumping back into old routines or old belief systems, and it took years, that was years and years of programming of beliefs and how you see yourself and see the world. And it's going to take you time to filter out those old beliefs and feelings and emotions. So it's taking time to nurture yourself, to support yourself, have patience, have some gratitude, and compassion for what you've been through and what you're trying to overcome and move forward from. And things maybe slow down. And there's a reason for that, because you're not meant to rush ahead. You're meant to be more observing, to slow down, to see where is where's this thought coming from? Where's this feeling coming from? Where's this anger coming from? You know, why am I so upset, and why is this still bothering me? After, you know, maybe it was years ago that it happened, and there's something that you're still holding on to that you haven't let go of. And so question it, try to understand it, try to see if you can see things from a different perspective. I just had to pause your video because my dog started barking. And I feel like that's very symbolic of where did you not feel protected as a child. You know, where did the feeling of not feeling safe come from? Where did it originate? You know, we have the home card coming out. What does, you know, home feel like to you? What does it feel like in your body? You know, does it feel like it's safe? Do you feel safe? Do you have a safe space? Do you feel safe within your own being? You know, are there parts of yourself that are unloved and need your love, need your attention, need your nurturing? And what is your relationship like with yourself? And it's creating that safe space within, you know, resting in knowing that you are loved, that you are safe to express yourself by you becoming that paternal parent that you needed, where you become the nurturer, the mother for your inner child, you know, where you protect yourself, you stand up for yourself, you validate your feelings, you validate your struggles, your pain, your challenges, your questions, your curiosity, and having patience for that younger version of yourself, because they're still, you know, perhaps stuck in that feeling of being ignored, not being loved, and not being able to express themselves, and so they're getting angry, you know, and that's where that rage comes from, because they're being ignored and they don't feel safe. They feel like you just you know, push them away, and it's sad to think about it, because we do it to ourselves. You know, we kind of treat ourselves the way that our parents treated us. We learned how to parent ourselves through their actions, through the way they handled our emotions, and the way that they handled their pain and their emotions. We were learning from them. You know, your parents are your greatest teachers, and we adapt and adopt a lot of their beliefs, their mindsets, and their behaviors. And now as an adult, you can go within and repattern yourself, you know, and shift your habits, your behavior patterns, the way that you see things, the way that you treat yourself, the way you talk to yourself, the way you nurture yourself. You can change all that. You just gotta make those steps, you know, and it's a steady commitment to change. It's not like an instant, you know, shift and immediate results. It's something that it takes time for you to nurture yourself, for you to feel safe, for you to feel secure, for you to feel open, to open your heart again, to feel, to receive. And I feel like that's something that you lack. You lack the ability to receive love, to receive nurturing, because it may have been something you didn't receive, and so you don't know how to open up to receive it. And that's by you pouring your love into your own heart space, you pouring your attention into your heart space. Where does your heart feel like it's in lack of? Where do you feel parts of yourself that you don't have love for? And love into those spaces. Pour your heart and your love and your attention and focus into those areas of where you feel like there's a part of you that's missing, so that you do feel safe in your own being. You feel safe in your own mind. You feel safe in your heart. You feel safe in your body. And that is what Mayan Master Imix wants you to focus on at this moment in time, to be open and receptive, to have patience with yourself, and to pour your love into the parts of you that don't feel safe, but don't feel loved. Awakened awareness. Yeah, you're going to start seeing things. You may have a lot of things come to the surface for you because they're wanting to be expressed. They're wanting to be acknowledged. The time is now. They've been repressed for too long. It's something that you need to allow yourself to let go of so that you can express your truth, so that you can feel safe being who you really are. You know, safe in your body, and creating that safe space for you to feel rooted and connected and at home here on the earth. Yeah, you're looking for that stability, that solid foundation, something that you can count on, something you can guarantee, and that's becoming whole within your own being and trusting in your own abilities to take care of yourself, to love yourself, to support yourself. And shift the way that you see things, shift the way that you see the past, shift the way that you see yourself and believe in yourself. You know, shifting those patterns and those programs that you have, observing your mind, observing your thoughts, questioning them. Where do they come from? Where did this originate from? Why do I feel this way? It's becoming that investigator, looking within your own being, your own thoughts, and questioning where they're coming from and why do I feel this way? What is the truth? All right, we have initiation. So you have 1717. There's two of those coming up. So the number 17 has significance here. I would definitely look the number 17 up, but they do reduce down to an 8. So 88. 8 I know is about strength and karmic balance here. And feeling grounded, having grounded awareness. Grounding in higher perspectives, and also limitless potential. Now you're being initiated to go within. You're being asked to go within and to heal and create sacred space within your own heart and mind. And this look up to see things from a higher perspective. Don't hold on to the past so tightly. You know, look forward to a brighter future and manifesting and setting that intention. What do you want your future to look like? How do you see yourself, you know, feeling and being and living, and making that your goal, making that your mindset, and setting your sights to move forward instead of looking to the past so much. We have self-love intentions. Focus on desires of the heart. Thank you, confirmation, self-worth, expansion, and manifesting. Good. You're being asked to receive your own love, the love that you felt that you were missing, the hole that you feel in your heart. It's time for you to be open to your own love, the love that you would give to, you know, an animal, to your child, to your partner, the type of love you want to receive from others. Pour that into your own being. Pour that into and make that your safe space. Make that your connection, what you feel rooted in. You feel rooted in your own love. Have love for self, yourself. Give your love to you. That's what you need. You need your love. Others don't know how to love you. Only you know how to love you. And so you are the best person to give you what you feel like you lack. You know, you can try to express to somebody like, hey, like I need you to love me this way. You know what I mean? And their way of doing things is completely different than your way of doing things. So it might not make you feel that feeling that you're looking for. And that's because you're looking for somebody else to give that to you, and they can't. And anytime you're looking for anything outside of yourself to receive it from somebody else, like it's the chasing energy. You're never going to find it. You're just going to keep chasing and chasing and chasing because the energy is being directed outwards. And if you shift your focus to pouring that into yourself, to going within and putting that energy, planting that seed in your own soil into your heart and saying, I love me, I validate me, I am worthy, I am good enough, I am deserving. I don't need anybody else's approval to validate, my truth, to validate how I felt, to validate my experience and what I saw. I'm going to give that to me, and I'm going to give yourself like a big, energetic hug, and fill your heart with your love and your attention and your appreciation and your forgiveness, so that you can move forward and let this go and no longer have anger, something that's just under the surface ready to erupt. This was nothing about you to make you feel like, it's not personal, even though it felt like it was personal. It's seeing that everybody has struggles in life, and not everybody can be, that somebody for everybody all the time. Everybody is doing their best and what they believe is their best. And some people, they struggle so hard through life, and they're just barely keeping their head above the surface level, because of their own experiences and what they went through and their pain that they're still not dealing with. And so try not to see things as a personal attack, and that for some reason you weren't good enough or you weren't worthy enough. It had nothing to do with you. It was there to teach you lessons on how to love you, lessons on what doesn't feel good, what doesn't feel nurturing, so that you could know what nurturing does feel like, and it's having that perception shift that can help you let go of the anger, not hold so tight, because you truly will feel so much better. You will feel the release when you learn to let it go. And letting go doesn't mean that it didn't happen and that it didn't hurt you and that it didn't have meaning. It just means that you are choosing to move forward now. You have gained whatever wisdom, whatever lesson that served to teach you, and you no longer need to carry it anymore. It's time to put that story to rest, to close that chapter and walk away and say, thank you for, teaching me how to love me more, how to love myself, because I didn't know, what I was needing until I didn't know what I didn't have, It's seeing things from a different way and challenging our perspectives, challenging our feelings and our emotions, and trying to understand where they come from, where they originate from, the source of them, and clearing all them out and creating that space for you to now receive love by letting go of the times where you didn't feel and receive love, opening your heart back up to receive your love. And we have spring, planting seeds, preparation, putting in the work. Right, these are the seeds that you're wanting to plant. So it's working with those positive affirmations. And anytime you have the past wanting to come back into your awareness, it's observing, the pain, the feeling that you have, having more of an observer mindset, when the emotion comes up and you feel triggered again, take that time to observe it, question it, ask it, what do you want me to know? What am I meant to feel? And if there's an emotion that comes up, allow yourself to, cry, to express it. If it's like, anger and rage at first, you can go outside and go scream and yell, and then tears may eventually follow, because really, the peacock agrees, the anger is more than likely repressed sadness. So allow yourself to just release and go with the flow. Whatever comes in is going to flow through you. Don't hold on to it and shove it down, because then it's just like a teapot that's about to explode and boil over. You want to allow it to just subtly move through you when you feel it. And it's having that awareness, being with yourself, being present in the emotion, in the experience, in the memory of what needs to be acknowledged and released and let go of. And more than likely, spending time in nature will help you sort through and process these feelings and these emotions that need to be addressed, okay? We have field of dreams. See, and I feel like that's the potential. The potential of your dreams coming true. when you learn to let go of the past and move forward and set these new intentions, new affirmations for how you see yourself. I am worthy. I am worthy of my happiness. I am worthy of true love. I am deserving of true love. I validate and accept myself for who I am. You know, there's so many ways to validate yourself and to love yourself and allow yourself to feel, you know, whatever needs to be felt. And the more you do that, the more space you create for your dreams to come true, because you've let go of the things that have been blocking you from receiving. We are protecting treasure. Yeah, there's something that's waiting for you, something that's waiting to be discovered, waiting for you to be waiting. I'm not sure why the peacock keeps going off, but I know the peacocks represent transformation and, you know, elevating your awareness and your perception. It's the promise after the healing, the many, many perspectives that exist around us. And I feel like there's, after this cleansing, this purification that's going to be taking place for you, there's buried treasure within. There's things that need to be unlocked. You know, it's your soul gifts, your destiny is waiting. Okay, what else we have? We have the mountain. Yeah. The challenge awaits you, you know. And you may find yourself, it's challenging your beliefs, challenging the way that you see things, challenging your perception. And is there any way that I could be seeing things, you know, wrong or limited or from a small point of view, you know, and can I see things from a different way? How can I shift my perspective about the situation that makes me feel understood, where I have complete understanding, where I am seeing the wisdom within the experience. This is your quest right now. You're going on an adventure to uncover and cleanse and purify the parts of you that didn't feel loved, that didn't feel safe. Your final card says, let your past go. Wow. You can't make this stuff up. It says the burden of carrying your past around has made you weary. Dear one, it's time to set this burden down. Keep only the lessons and the love, and leave everything else behind. You don't want it or need it, and it's now gone. Wow, I love that. That sums up your whole reading, doesn't it, pile number one? It's time for you to move forward, to let it go, to look towards the future, and to grow something beautiful from your heart, within your heart, for yourself. You have so much potential. You just need to love yourself. Okay, so I'm not sure if that's a pattern. Y'all tell me when you listen to this video. If he's making a ka 5 times, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And, you know, 5 is about change and life lessons and being authentic. So, lots of confirmation for you. Thank you all so much for being here. If this reading resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments. If you don't know what to say, just let me know that pile number one resonated with you guys. So thank you for liking and subscribing to my channel. This helps me grow. I'm sending y'all lots of love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading, pile number 2. You are drawn to the Mayan master Akbal and the Ametthyst star. And the card says sanctuary. Be still. Go within to your inner sanctum. It is time to awaken within the dream. So being paired with Amethyst, I feel like you are being asked to go within and to discover some truth within, to be still, to calm the mind down, to be centered, maybe practice meditation, spend some time out in nature to slow your energies down, because there's something that's wanting to be revealed to you, something that needs to be expressed. I feel like it could be an aspect of yourself that needs to be expressed. And we have the third eye sticking out to me as well. Something, maybe the way that you see yourself needs to be shifted and understood. Okay, and amethyst is a great crystal to work with to also help aid in meditation. Great crystal to work with there. Alright, let's see what other information wants to come through from Mayan Master Akbal. Oh, you have communicate with the crystal spirit. So we have the throat chakra being engaged. New light codes. Express yourself authentically and vulnerably to strengthen your relationships. Okay. So there's something that needs to be expressed here. Let's see what else. Butterfly spirit, transform. Welcome change and emerge stronger, just as the butterfly emerges from the cocoon. Okay. Maybe there is an aspect of yourself that you don't see clearly. And there's something that needs to be, or you are going through a process of transformation. It's like your throat chakra is being activated, and you're going to be channeling and communicating something from the throat. The way that you express yourself, the way that you see yourself, all that's transforming here. Okay, another message coming through is some of you are being asked to go within, to still the mind, to find time to meditate, to go within, because there's something that's going to be communicated to you during meditation, during your pause and reflect time, that's going to bring in transformation, that's going to help you change and transform. Maybe there's some shedding, some healing from the past that you've been doing, and it's time for you to emerge and to bloom and to blossom and to move forward. Because you've been doing the work, you've been going within, and now it's time for you to have, your wings, growing your wings and freeing yourself from a certain situation from the past. Oh my goodness, you have the throat chakra card. Look at that, and the wings coming through. Yeah, there's like some healing that has taken place within. Some of you have done a lot of healing work. Some of you are getting an upgrade to that throat chakra and perhaps elevating the way that you express yourself and your truth and your authenticity. Yeah, look at the butterflies, wings. Yeah, there's this transformation that's taking place. I feel like there's definitely some healing in the heart that has taken place. Some of you have gone within and listened to the wisdom that has been given to you, been following your heart, and now it's time for you to move forward into another level. You've ascended a certain aspect of being, and now it's time for you to step onto a new timeline and express yourself in a whole different way, from like your truth, your authentic self is coming online. Let's see. Luminescence. Peacock agrees. The peacock has been around was in the first reading as well. So I know the peacocks represent a certain amount of transformation and beauty and uniqueness and expressing your your authentic self, you know. And I feel like there's some of you are being asked to love your heart, to love yourself, to love all aspects of your being, to love your faults, to love your uniqueness, the things that make you quirky, the things that you see as, you know, odd or different or strange. Loving all aspects, loving the parts of you that made mistakes, that was learning, that was growing, you know, and appreciating your willingness to try and to learn. Yeah, there may be a little bit of healing that needs to take place there. You know, the way that you see yourself, and the way that you talk to yourself, the way that you love yourself. But it's also about creating, you know, from your heart. Focusing on a dream that you want to create for yourself. And you have the dragonflies, and they also represent transformation too. So there's big transformation taking place, I feel like, within. So some of you have been doing a lot of work on the subtle realms, in the subconscious mind, and understanding, you know, what makes you tick, pulling out the weeds, the old programmings, the ways of living and being that's not quite, you know, who you are and what your soul resonates with. You know, the things that don't make you happy, maybe the things that you do out of obligation to others, but it's not truly something that, you know, resonates with your heart. And it's learning to find and do things from a place of joy and happiness, because it's what makes you feel, you know, it makes you feel good to do these things. It's part of your heart. It makes you feel full, you know. It doesn't feel like you're having to give from a place that's empty, and, you know, not feeling like this is, you know, it's like working at those jobs that you don't really enjoy doing, and it's like something you have to do to pay the bills, you know, but it doesn't bring you happiness and fulfillment. So it is learning to shift out of that mindset and finding, you know, the positivity where you can see how things benefit you, and seeing things from those inspired places of happiness, when we learn to feel more inspired versus obligated. I hope that makes sense to you. It's coming from, when you're doing things, it's coming from a place of love because you enjoy doing it, not coming from a place of, you know, disgust and burden. You want to do things because it feels good to your heart. It feels good to you to do it. It serves a purpose. It has meaning. And trying to make everything that you do, everything that you dream, that you intend to manifest, having more consciousness on your actions, on your desires, and why you're doing things, and making sure that you're coming from a place of happiness and fulfillment versus doing things from a place of, you know, the lower vibrations that I was talking about. And knowing that the energies that you hold within your heart on the inner planes is going to be reflected in the physical world. So when you're doing things from a place of dread and, you know, duty, you're not going to receive that, you know, those good feelings and energy from it, because you're not exactly putting that into your work, right? You're kind of putting that lower vibration out there, and so you're not receiving a higher vibration. And it's learning to work with those energies. What you put out is what you're going to receive, but you have to make sure that you're balanced and that there's no hidden blockages, hidden belief systems that are creating the blockages from you receiving the good karma that's meant to come your way. Oh, you got the Trinity card. See, and this is the accumulation of all the life cycles, of everything you've been through, of all the lessons that you have overcome. It's that wisdom. So some of you, the ones of you who are being asked to go within and to connect and to transform, you know, the way you see yourself or your belief systems, the things that have been holding you back, is going to that, your childhood self, and collecting the wisdom, offering the healing, offering that connection and understanding so that you can heal and grow, and then extracting the wisdom from that experience. Sanctuary. We have structured foundation. Wants to build a foundation balance. Building slow and steady forming. Okay, so some of you have been now doing a lot of inner work and healing and transforming the way that you see things and see yourself. And you're creating like a solid foundation for yourself where you gleaned the wisdom from your childhood, from your inner wounds and struggles. You know, you have gone within and done the healing work and transformed that pattern, transformed that blueprint. And I feel like a lot of you are starting to feel more safe, more secure, more stable, more connected to your authentic self and the way that you express your unique beauty, expressing the way that you see things, sharing your love. Oh, we got kisses and love. Perfect. Unconditionally loving, giving, and receiving, affectionate, falling in love. Yeah, some of you have been receiving, giving, and pouring into your heart space, shining your love, your light, your focus and intention into healing those wounds, those generational wounds. Or some of you, this is what you're being asked to go do as you're being asked to go within and create that safe space and transform the energies of the past, the traditional ways of doing things, the old programming, the old foundations, the old tree of lives, your family lineage. You know, if there's any generational traumas, things that are passed down generationally, you are somebody who's here to bring in that change to your family tree, to your family lineage, and create new foundations that are built on being able to express your truth from your heart, to shine your light, to be your authentic self, to do things that make you feel good, that contribute to the whole, that inspire more love, more beauty. More happiness, more being true to yourself. We have closed off and guarded. A wounded warrior. Yeah, this is who you are. You're a wounded warrior. You're here, you know, transforming and standing up for, you know, the wounded hearts, the wounded children. Anybody who has had a broken heart, you know, you understand what that feels like. And you are somebody who is very supportive of others and very empathic because you understand, you know what it's like to feel. So you are somebody who can also offer your wisdom and share your wisdom to others of how you overcame. Peaks of joy, look at that. 33, that's a card of mastery. Setting yourself free, transforming. We have the butterfly again. You have transformed your fears. You are transforming. You are becoming your most authentic self, the true expression of who you really are. You freed yourself from the past, freed yourself from the limiting beliefs and the old structures, the old foundations. Congratulations! Pile number 2. Alright, your final card says there's nothing to worry about. You are safe and the situation is under perfect control of divine providence and universal order. Only infuse loving thoughts and emotions into the situations to ensure that the highest possible outcome flows effortlessly to and through you. See, and I felt this card right here when I was reading it. And this is you creating and manifesting from your heart, allowing no worry, no fear to come in, having complete trust and faith in the divine, that everything is moving forward, everything is flowing in the right direction. You are coming into full alignment with your true self. Nice, beautiful. Alright, pile number 2, I'm going to close your reading. The energy has stopped right there, so I'm sending you guys lots of love. If this reading resonated with you, I'd love to hear from you in the comments if you feel like sharing your story. Or if you don't know what to say, just let me know pile number 2 resonated with you. This helps me grow my channel and find other like-minded souls like yourself. Alright, y'all take care. Have a blessed day. Welcome to your reading, pile number 3. You guys were drawn to the Ascended Master, Lady Nada, with devotion, and the Golden Healer. And what I love about these two being paired together, Lady Nada is a representative of the divine feminine Christ energies, and Golden Healer, it's said to channel the Christ consciousness energies into its crystal. And this stone is said to help us to gain more insight and clarity on our emotions and helping us to take back our power. It's a very good stone to help to meditate with and to help you bring more light into the shadows, having more awareness, more consciousness going into our darkness, or the parts of us that have been yet to be discovered. So when your card says your greatest service to self and humanity is your devotion to peace and love and kindness. So I feel like you're being asked to go within to your heart and heal an aspect of your heart so that you can offer more love and shine more love onto humanity. And you actually got 2 cards. And you also have Star Mother Ramona, and she is a goddess from the Pleiades. She's a Star Mother from Pleiades. And it says, heart's desire, honor the deepest desires within your heart. This ignites your soul song and lights your path. So I feel like you are being asked to spend more time in your heart space and healing your heart and acknowledging your heart's desire, acknowledging anything maybe that needs to be let go of. If you have any emotions or things of the past that need your attention, to make sure that you are healing and transforming and loving into and nurturing those parts of yourself that, sometimes we can judge ourselves a little too harshly. We can be very critical of our mistakes, of our path of growing and learning, and which is, it's so sad to see how hard we are on ourselves and how we can be so understanding and compassionate to others and watching them go through their life and their challenges and their mistakes and have compassion and empathy for others. But when it comes to us, ourselves, we're so harsh, we're so critical, we're so judgmental, and we shame ourselves, and it's so sad because we don't deserve that, and we deserve the love that we give to others. We deserve that same compassion too, and what we end up saying, oh, you should have known better, you did know better, and it's okay, why did I make this choice? And because this is the choice, these are the only 2 choices I thought I had, so this is the choice that I made. And if I knew this back then, I would have made a different choice, but we were learning, we were growing, and we learn and grow by making choices and by making mistakes. And that's part of being human and having that experience, is we're gaining information, we're gaining wisdom, we're gaining experience, and we're learning lessons. Not everybody's learning their lessons, but eventually their time will come, and that's not for us to judge. The peacock has been for each reading, and he normally doesn't stay around this long, but for whatever reason, he's been hanging out beside the door like all day today. So, and during each reading, he has made at least one acknowledgement, calling for I'm not sure who, because there's no females around, but he just is sounding off during these readings. But I feel like, yeah, you're being asked to tend to your heart more, to acknowledge your heart, to acknowledge your truth, your need for love, to act on your desires and act from a place of love, to do things from, that make your heart, that makes your heart light up, it makes you feel joyful, makes you feel happy and excited, to practice more engaging in those energies and activities. We have boundaries with the hedgehog spirit. Nurture and protect your unique qualities and guard yourself against negativity. Yeah. When you do feel negativity coming up, or you feel yourself doing things out of obligation, those are, signs there. The energy is showing you something. It's telling you something, that you're not doing something because you feel happy about it, you feel joyful about it, you feel like giving. You're doing things because you're shaming yourself, you're guilting yourself, or somebody's manipulating your energy into doing that. And the idea is to engage in less of those activities and to do more things that feel good to you, that honor your feelings, that honor your emotion, that honor your energy levels. If somebody's asking you to do something and you don't have the energy or the time or the desire to perform and to do that favor, then, find a way to opt out kindly and friendly and just say, I would love to. I appreciate you thinking about me, but I'm going to have to, pass this time around. I hope you can find somebody else, blah, 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 blah. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to, feel like you owe anybody anything. When you have, you give, and when you can't, be okay with that, and to have a place of acceptance for yourself, validating your own need for a boundary, your own need for rest, your own time to be with yourself and to do for yourself. And there's nothing selfish in that, because I feel like you are a very giving, nurturing, loving person. Like you enjoy giving, you enjoy sharing with others, you enjoy loving others, but I feel like there's maybe something within you that needs your attention and focus and love right now. We have the hummingbird spirit, happiness as you buzz through life. Remember to enjoy the good times and live your joy. Exactly. What about you? And there's nothing wrong in thinking about yourself. You're not selfish because you have needs, because you have a desire, because you want to devote some of your time to creating something for yourself. I mean, this is your life. You deserve to be happy too. You deserve to have a life that feels fulfilling. And the more that you do those types of activities and you pour that same love into you, the more love and light you're going to have to be able to give to others, because you have poured that love and that light and those resources into your own being and made yourself so full, so vibrant, so, filled with love and passion and desire that it will radiate out from you. And when you're being guided to follow your heart and do things from a heart space, then you're in alignment with your true self, with your divine self, with your higher self. And it feels good to follow that flow of energy versus tapping in and doing things from a lower vibration, doing things out of guilt, out of shame or obligation. It doesn't feel good. And the more you tune into what feels good and following that thread of listening to your heart and your intuition, everything, you're going to be guided to the things that make you feel happy, that you're going to want to devote yourself to. You're going to want to devote yourself to your heart's desires, because that's the road to happiness. We have She of the Lotus. All right. we all grow from, you know, it's sad, it's painful, but I think that's the point of this incarnation, of why we all came to earth. We grow from the darkness. We learn from pain. It teaches us, unfortunately, it's one of the greatest teachers, is to learn through pain. It teaches us so much. And yes, it is painful, but there's so much to learn from those places of darkness, of shadow. And not all darkness is bad at all. You know, a lot of people get, you know, there's a lot of taboo things on the dark, on it's crazy. My mind just went to the feminine and everything like that. That is symbolic of what the dark represents. The shadows, the unconscious mind. It is the womb, the mother's womb, the darkness, the deep end of the pool or the ocean, the parts that we can't see, you know, and it requires us to spend time going within the darkness and shining our light, shining our hearts on the parts of ourselves that we may leave out in the cold, you know, the parts of us that we don't necessarily like, that they are, but they are a part of you. You know, it's what makes you whole. It gives you character. It's what makes you unique. It is the place that you grow from. You know, your past, your struggles, your pain, your accomplishments come from rising above those tribulations. You know, it is the lotus growing out of the mud. Even though it can't see the surface, it's dark, it's muddy, and the flower is under, you know, under the water. It can't see the light, but it keeps growing. It keeps pushing forward and moving forward until eventually the water, the mud, it starts to clear and the light can be seen, and then the lotus reaches the surface, and then it comes to full bloom. You know, that is so symbolic of all of us in our life's journey. We all have some sort of struggle and pain and challenge that we have to go through, that we have to push through in order to find out what we're made out of, you know, to remember our light, to remember our truth, and to reconnect to our heart, and find our true happiness. You know, everybody is on their own life journey and experience, and everybody's is different. But as long as you keep moving forward and you keep striving to find your happiness and your truth, you know, but know that everybody has some challenge that they must grow through. Reclaim your energy. Nice. Yeah, and it's letting go of feeling like a victim, you know, and stepping into a role of the victor, the person who, yes, I overcame all of this in my life. I didn't let it be something that, you know, held me back, and maybe it did for a certain amount of time, and that's okay, because when we come up against these obstacles and these challenges and these losses and these battles, you know, sometimes it throws us off our center, and it takes us a while to find our balance again and to stabilize our energies, to be able to feel safe to move forward again. It takes time, but as long as you're willing to do the work to go within and to reclaim your power back, take your power back from anything that makes you feel, you know, in a lower vibration and a lower energy, of where you remain a victim in some kind of way, you know, and we all do that to ourselves. Anytime we've been betrayed by somebody who we loved and who we thought loved us, and we hold on to it for a little too tightly, you know, we can try to place ourselves in the victim role of, you know, the bad things that are happening to us, and even though we don't deserve it, you know, and it keeps us in that victim role of feeling disempowered. And what you want to do is empower yourself to take your power back, and to realize that you are learning something. You are learning how to protect yourself. You are learning how to have healthier boundaries for yourself. When to say no is that's enough, to immediately respond when somebody is disrespecting you, when somebody is crossing that boundary and speaking to you in a disrespectful way, or being very disingenuous in the way that they talk to you and the way that they treat you. And because of those types of experiences, you now know what signs to look for. You know immediately when to draw the line and say enough is enough. You're not somebody I want in my inner circle because of the way that you treat other people, the way that you treat me, the way that you talk, the way that you handle certain situations. And it's not saying that you're judging them, but you are also discerning who is somebody that you want in your life as your ally or your friend, or somebody you want close to your heart. You know what I mean? If they're not being careful with it, they can hurt you. So when you take your power back, that is you learning to realize that you can make the choices, and that it is you who decides ultimately what you believe and what your truth is, and who you can trust, and what is your heart's desire, and tuning into your own sacred center to learn what it is that makes you feel happy and who makes you feel happy. We have the third eye chakra coming through here. And we have the third eye. Yeah, there's a lot of awakening, perception shifting that's coming in for you. Yeah, I mean, both of these guys, there are a lot of feminine energy. So there's a lot of heart-based energies here from these divine masters. Lady Nada and Star Mother Ramona. A lot of feminine energies. And maybe something that you're here to channel, these divine, feminine, mothering, nurturing energies here on the planet. By the way that you learn to love and accept yourself, is going to be what inspires others and reminds others to do for themselves as well. Yeah, make sure that you are listening to your intuition, right? And allow your intuition, your heart, to guide you on who is, somebody you want to keep around. And we have your heart coming out as well. Open heart. And it's 6 and 6. We have 66 coming through. I know 6 is about, love and balance, feeling balanced in our love, our material comforts, family. And 66 is a connection to, service as a source of joy, something that comes from your heart, feeling, when your cup is full, it like overflows and it fills and spills onto others. It's that overflowing cup of love that's not coming from a place of, martyrdom or anything like that. It's coming from a place of being in service to others, doing things that comes from your heart space. And I feel like that's something that's natural for you, but there may be something, a perspective that you have about yourself that needs a little bit of attending to, something that maybe has been disempowering you, but you're being asked to reclaim your power and your energy levels and set healthy boundaries for yourself, but hold on to your happiness. This is what's going to sustain you. All right, we have Venus offer. Romance, love, beauty, creative arts, wealth, harmony, attraction, and an offer. I feel like, yeah, this is like you offer a lot of love, and you're being offered love from these two divine ascended masters here. We have letting go. Okay, so that's where that was coming from. There is a little bit of healing that needs to be let go. This, it's Pluto, transformation, endings to old cycles. And I feel like this is the end of like this patriarchal rule, in the way that You may criticize yourself a little too harshly because this is the old programming. This is society standards or family, traditional, generational standards, those types of energies and programs, and I feel like they are being replaced. You are overriding them with the love that you have for yourself, empowering yourself with love. We have listening. Look at it, it's the elephant. I mean, I love it. Elephants represent the matriarchal energy. They have such wisdom. They have a long memory. And we have this little birdie here who's whistling a tune, and I feel like that is your soul song. Like, your energy, your vibration radiates with the divine Christ consciousness, the feminine aspect of love and nurturing, and heart-based devotion, where you devote yourself to following your heart and expressing love and kindness and empathy and compassion to all of humanity, through everyone, even people who do bad things, who make, huge mistakes and everything, they still are deserving of, compassion, because most people do things because they do things out of pain, and when they're not in the right mind. And it's sad because they chose these life lessons to teach them, they teach them something to learn from, and it's not for us to judge. It breaks my heart that this is what, unfortunately, this world is made of at the moment, and that we all chose to put ourselves in some of these debilitating situations to learn from, that this is what we had to go through to learn these types of lessons. And it's sad and it's heartbreaking that we don't see our own light in our hearts, in our divinity, in our innocence, in our pureness, and our deservingness. That's what makes the Earth School so hard, right? Because we volunteer to forget who we are, to remember who we are, and we're all on different parts of that journey and experience. So lean more into your heart, listen to your heart, follow your joy, follow your passion, devote yourself to following your heart's desire, to your happiness, and listen to your heart's desire. Listen to your heart. Listen to your inner child and your own needs. All right, your final card says play. Beloved one, it's time to set aside work for a while. Don't worry. We will oversee your responsibilities to their completion. Playfulness, gaiety, and laughter will lift your energy so that you'll return to work with a renewed perspective and heightened energy. Nice. Okay, so I love that we have the inner child coming through here, because I felt your inner child, and your heart wants you to know that you've done so much work and you deserve to receive as well. So make sure that you are following your heart's desire, letting your inner child play some and not be so focused on work and service and doing and, pouring energy and love and light into everybody else. Make sure that you are adding yourself to the list, because you are just as deserving as everybody else is. So make sure that you are scheduling some you time in there to listen, to tune in to your heart, and to empower yourself with your love as well. All right, pile number 3, this was your reading. Thank you all so much for being here. If this reading resonated with you, let me know in the comments if you feel like sharing your story. Or if you don't know what to say, just let me know. Pile number 3 was your reading. Thank you for all your likes and your subscriptions, and help me grow this channel. I'm sending out so much love. Y'all take care and have a blessed day.